name is Sally Gooden, and I asked her to marry me, then she said you wouldn't.
Hello and welcome back to the wonderful Ozark Mountains. We're talking about the Ascend or Bass Pro Shops FS12T sit on top kayak. This episode, what we're going to be talking about are a few little tips here and there. One of the things you can see right now, you can see the cord, the bungee cord that is normally stretched across, put on here, it's loose. You'll also notice these are loose. Anytime I leave this kayak just out sitting around, any of these cords, leave them loose. If you will, they'll last a lot longer. They do develop a memory over time, and there's only so much elastic on these, and it will wear out over time. So if you'll leave this loose, they won't get all stretched out, especially in the hot weather, like we have today. If you leave these things stretched up tight, or these things stretched up tight, in hot weather, they're going to develop a memory. So if you will, just leave those loose. And they'll last a lot longer. Okay, next tip. This is something I like to repurpose or recycle or just plain be cheap about a lot of stuff. And I was on a trip once with the kayak, long trip, and I had to carry a lot of stuff. And I carried a lot of it back here. Now, yeah, you could stretch this bungees over the top and add more bungees and ropes and do whatnot, but one thing that I found useful was this. This is old cargo net from the back of a Buick LeSabre. So what I did is I took this old cargo net, placed it back here. I'll try to do this while I'm doing the video. Attach this to my carabiners or D-link, strap there. Put a loop over that. That takes care of that end. Do the same on this end. And what you've got is something that you can put a lot of gear. Get a shot of that. Get a lot of gear up underneath there, and that'll hold that strap down without having to use a bunch of different bungee cords or ropes and strapping, all that. You've already got one right there, already built in, and you can carry a whole lot of stuff. And if you needed to, you didn't have to have it that tall. You could strap this around and make this much smaller. But there you've got a nice repurposed or recycled piece of netting that you can use for that purpose. Okay, I'm going to push this to the side here a little bit. Go grab my other thing. Now you saw from the back that white piece of plastic fitting back there. Well, why I have it there is for my flag and for my light, emergency light. You can see that from a long way off. And all this is, first of all, this I did buy new. I did buy it as an emergency light. That's exactly what it's for. I'm not quite sure where I got it. It was probably one of the sporting goods stores. And it comes with this clip. And that clip is supposed to fit onto a piece of pipe or something. Well, it happened to be just the perfect size for this flag. This flag is a diver's flag, I believe. And I got the flag and the little PVC pipe here, all one piece. I got that at Walmart for $1. On the bottom of it, I attached another piece of a conduit, an old type of plastic conduit, and then a fitting here. That fitting matches this fitting, so that the end piece, this threaded portion, fits snugly into that. Well, just so happens, and why I had to use it, this orangey type pipe fits snugly into the hole at the bottom of that. Now I'm not going to tell you what sizes, because I frankly don't remember. But you'll just have to look around and see what you have. See what you can find that would fit snugly. I did epoxy this to this, so this will not come off of here. You can see a little bit of the epoxy right here. And I did marine goop this really well to the kayak itself. I had to clean the kayak with a little bit of acetone, get rid of some of the oils that are in there. And you can see that's on there pretty solid. Now if I need to, I'll go in with a rivet or a screw or a bolt to attach this better to this if that ever becomes a problem. But I don't believe it will. And that just sits in there and it fits nice and tight. You could even find something that would screw down in there. That'd be just fine. But if I'm out on a busy lake, which a lot of lakes here in the Ozarks are, very busy, Table Rock, Bull Shoals, Beaver Lake, a lot of heavily used lakes, especially in the summers. If I happen to be out there, I will take that flag out of my front hatch, where it's normally stored, take it out, pop it on there. Or if I'm out really early in the morning or really late at night, I'll have that out and I'll turn this light on. And they can really see that light and they can really see that flag. Of course, I also have my reflective tape on the stern of the kayak, and then also on my paddles. So that's a nice little safety device. And final thing that I'll show you on this video clip is my little rod and reel. I'll set that just right here, and that's about the extent of it right there. It's about 2 foot long. Little bitty old thing. I found that at a outlet store for Bass Pro. Living over in the same region as Bass Pro in Springfield, Missouri, has its advantages. I found this. This is an ice fishing reel. Oh, I'm sorry, a rod. The reel is just a little bitty old thing. Not even sure what manufacturer it is, but just a little bitty old thing that fits just as fine on that. Why I'm showing you this is something that is sort of an emergency reel, rod and reel. Something that I can easily store down inside the hatch. If there are some clips up inside, up underneath here, that this stores in, and if I ever, get caught in a storm or something, and for some other reason I have to be out and missing my other rods and reels, or if I just didn't go out, just doing a little tour, at least I have this as a backup. And amazingly, it works pretty well. I wouldn't want to use it all the time, but it does work pretty darn good. So let's see. Actually, there is one more thing. With this kayak, the underneath side, well, you can see my tarp and rope that I always keep inside here. One of the things with this hatch that I noticed early on, these screws, everything was tight and everything was fine. These screws underneath here, they protruded a good little ways. And anytime I was putting in this or taking things out, putting things in, I would either scrape my knuckles or tear up the plastic whenever I was pulling things out. It's pretty rough and they stuck out. So what I had to do is I had to go in here and I took a little hacksaw and a Dremel with a cutoff bit and whatnot, and I had to chop those off and then smooth off those edges. Now, no problem. There's still a little bit of a protrusion just because there's a nut on there, but it doesn't extend any below that. And so it's fine now. No problem. But that's something to be aware of. That's kind of tough on the knuckles and tough on the equipment whenever you have sharp edges. But overall, I am real impressed. I'm real happy with this for what it is. A fairly cheap but not bargain basement kayak for fishing. Good for river and large bodies of water, which is exactly what I was looking for. So till next time, take care. Bye.